Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We're live from St. Louis. Well, you see there, 35 truckers fired up and ready to sweat it out for 200 miles. So let's take a look now at our Toyota starting grid. We mentioned Ty Majeski on the pole for the first time this season alongside last week's winner, Ben Rhodes. Christian Eckes, that's one driver to watch today in the number 19. And Carson Hocevar, you see on the bottom, to the rear. He'll slip back for unapproved adjustments. Stuart Friesen with another great qualifying effort here, and the defending series champion, Zane Smith, in row 3.
Let's take a look at row number 4, Jake Garcia, impressive 18-year-old rookie, and Chase Purdy having the best season of his career for KBM. Back in row 5, Nick Sanchez, oh so close to winning that race at Texas a few months ago, and Grant Finger already a winner this year. And how about Bailey Curry? Always does a great job with the opportunities he gets for Nice Motorsports, and Tyler Ankrum in the 16 truck.
Check out the Gray brothers, Taylor and Tanner, back on row 7. Look for them to charge forward today. Row 8 consists of Matty D and Dean Thompson. Dean coming off a career weekend last weekend in Charlotte with that 3rd place finish. There's our friend Daniel Dye. He's got the camera on board, and he's always finding us some action to see. And Tony Breidinger just did a great job in qualifying, and I think that she's going to have a great race today as well.
And you see in row 10 there, Jesse Love, the 18-year-old. He was already planning on making his truck series debut here, but he's actually slipped over to the 11 truck to fill in for Corey Heim. Take a look at Jesse Love and what he's done in his young career. Started racing at a very young age from Menlo Park, California. That's the Northern California area. A 2-time ARCA West Series champion, certainly knows how to find his way to victory lane. And this year, he's full-time in the ARCA Menards Series, and he's already won 3 straight races. So certainly deserving of this opportunity in the truck series. So what do you think, Phil? Should we dial him up?
I think we're going to let him test pit road speed. Maybe we'll try to do that after that. We don't want to bother him while he's checking his pit road speed.
So many things that he has to go through for the first time, including these live competitive stops here today. A lot of voices in his head. New crew chief, Scott Zipadelli.
And plus a lot to take in.
Knew everything, right?
Yeah, you've got to just, you spend the first half of this race absorbing everything around you, making sure you don't make any mistakes. Learn with every lap you make on the racetrack. That's what's important.
What he's doing right now is concentrate on his tack. His tack will have lights. And they'll say, okay, you know, 4,000 RPM, 2nd gear, whatever. Let's see if we can maybe, let's wait a little bit till he gets down to into pit road. He just went by the start-finish line. But what an amazing job. You talked about what he's done this year in the ARCA Menards Series. 3 wins in a row. A couple of weeks he'll go for win number 4 in a row at Berlin, which is right in his wheelhouse. A great short track racer, but it's proven now that he could race on the mile and a half and the super speedways. I think he's off pit road now. Let's see if we can chat with him. Hey, Jesse Love, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip, and Jamie Little in the Fox booth. You got a copy? Well, buddy, this is, I know you were planning on running this race, but just a couple days ago, some big changes, and you jumped in that 11 truck. Tell us about your first experiences in a truck here at Big Gateway.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, we're all wishing Corey the best, and hope he's feeling better already. And obviously, just very delighted to get the nod to come run this 11 truck. And Zipadelli has got a great crew around him, and it's been great to meet all the guys and get to know them really well. So looking forward to a good run today. Maybe went for it a little bit too hard. Got to pull back the reins for today, but just very blessed and fortunate to be here and looking forward to a strong run.
All right, buddy, we appreciate you talking to us. Have a great run.
Thank you.
And we'll have 2 pit reporters covering all the action today, Miss Heather DeBow and Regan Smith. Good afternoon, Regan.
Well, good afternoon, Jamie. It has been a busy week for Carson Hocevar, and perhaps no driver has got more of an emotional tie to a racetrack, good and bad, than he does with this Gateway racetrack. Of course, 1 year ago, the last lap wreck that caused him to break his leg and have issues for the remainder of the season trying to heal that up. This year, though, he gets a call earlier this week that he will make his Cup debut at this racetrack. Add to the emotions, earlier today, he was scheduled to start 4th. Found out that they had a fuel pump issue. They had to repair him that truck. He will go to the back today, looking to improve on a career best 8th place finish at this track. Said we made a lot of significant changes to this truck to try and get better than we were last year. Heather DeBow?
Well, Regan, momentum is always a good thing to have on your side coming into a race like today, and Ben Rhodes has just that coming off of his victory at Charlotte last week. But there has been a change within the team. Crew Chief Jared Prince has been moved to the 88 of Matt Craftsman's team to crew chief for him, and then lead engineer Brian Ross has been moved up to the crew chief position here on the 99. And even though this is a new pairing, they already have a good working relationship. In fact, Ben has a few different nicknames for Brian already. He calls him B Ross, B Ryan, and his personal favorite, Brain. So we'll see if these two can put their smarts together to get their second consecutive victory in a row this afternoon. Jamie?
I like it, Brain. You guys don't even look like it's 91 degrees down there. Stay cool. Well done early on.
Let's take a look at our race analysis. 160 laps on this mile and a quarter track, 200 miles. You see this first two stages are relatively short at 35 laps. That final stage, there'll be some strategy because the tires aren't falling off that much in about 90 laps.
Just like that, fans are on their feet. Race number 12 of the Craftsman Truck Series Championship. Green flag is in the air. Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, side by side. The teammates battle all the way down into turn one. They've got a lot of pressure from behind, but good start.
Wow. Big squeeze there by Nick Sanchez down into turn one.
It's amazing how important these restarts and starts are now, Michael.
And I think there might have been some damage from the truck he got into. And look, they're going to split it up 3 wide into turn 3. Stuart Friesen down on the bottom in that red 52 truck.
Caution out, lap number 1. Wait and see what the caution is for. There it is right there. The 32. That's Brett Holmes.
And there's the 95 of Clay Greenfield as well. Big damage to Clay's truck.
Brand new team for Clay this week.
They got together off of turn 2. Brett's able to drive away, but I think that 95 truck is done.
Yeah, Clay started back in the 31st spot. Brett Holmes started up in 25th, so
you have to think maybe something went wrong with Holmes, and then Clay came along and couldn't avoid it. See the right front damage on that number 95.
Right rear as well.
Heather, what are you hearing?
Well, hearing Clay on the radio right now, he said he thinks that the battery became disconnected during this incident, so he's not able to refire the truck. So right now they're making a decision on whether or not they need to bring him down on the hook. But tough break here for a brand new team in this series.
Huh.
Well, as they try to get that truck hooked up, we'll step aside. Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, your leaders after 1 lap here at Gateway. Welcome back to the Toyota 200, where we are under caution for the first time. We just got barely rolling here. And what happened, boys?
Yeah, look at the very top of your screen. We talked about Brett Holmes starting back in the 25th spot. You're going to see Clay Greenfield make hard contact with the inside safer barrier. And obviously said on the radio, Heather reported that it wouldn't restart. He felt like there's Raja Caruth's truck. I wonder if that might have been what maybe happened after Brett Holmes may have had some sort of an issue. Maybe Raja, who had to start at the back because he had engine issues in practice yesterday, did not get to qualify.
Yeah, there was a lot of scrambling going on. We saw up front, even 3 wide, and some damage for Carson Hocevar as well as he comes to pit road. Something got jumbled up back there, and guys just couldn't get around it without contact. And unfortunately, Clay Greenfield went into the wall hard. He's the only one unable to drive away.
Carson Hocevar brings it down pit road into his pit box. I'm just looking at Raja Caruth. You know, he started in the back as well, and he had made up quite a few spots as they assessed the damage in his pit box.
That's an interesting tape job. Look, it's not even touching the truck.
They're going to make it really aerodynamic.
I don't know about all that. NASCAR might frown upon some of those changes. Plus, I don't think it's going to stay.
As they continue repairs for Raja Caruth, look at this.
And Jamie, that's only going to get hotter. 110 degrees right now. As that metal gets heat in it and the temperature goes up, the ambient goes up, it could get up towards of 130 degrees inside that truck. That's incredible.
And Michael, you talked about how difficult this racetrack is, how fast you go down into turn number 1, slam on the brakes. You use a lot of brakes, that creates more heat as well. You talk about them shifting, that creates more heat. So everything's working against them as far as heat goes.
He got up to 120 just in qualifying yesterday. So that's the Morgan & Morgan on board. And here's our buddy.
Daniel Dye. He's got the Race to Stop Suicide onboard camera. And I talked to him yesterday. He was worried about the heat. You know, he said, this is one of the hottest races I've ever run. I wonder how he said, I think I prepared perfectly for it, and I want to go out and have a great race, but it's going to be a day's work.
He always gives us such great pictures from his onboard. I'm a little disappointed in Daniel that he wasn't behind that incident and show us some pictures. But here's the Toyota onboard for Jesse Love, obviously stepping into a tough situation by the fact that Corey Heim is not here because of an illness, but we know Jesse's going to do a great job. He's up a couple positions from where he started.
You know what? I love what he said in that interview with you. He said, I overdrove it going into turn 1. That's what I want out of my kid. Find the limits, and he found them in qualifying, shot way up the hill. So I'm looking for just steady progression from that 11 truck all day long.
Well, let's get an update on Carson Hocevar. Regan.
Well, Jamie, as you see, we're showing the left side of Carson Hocevar's truck. That's where the damage that he got from that incident on the backstretch was. Of course, was supposed to start 4th, had to fall to the back because of the problems. The biggest challenge now, it sounds like that jack post is broken off on the side of the 42 truck. They're going to have difficulty on pit stops the rest of the day if that's the case here.
Well, they don't have much of an option just to jack up the rocker panel and destroy the rocker panel doing it, do they?
Let's listen to Ben Rhodes.
Turns 1 and 2.
He was down on you tight.
Yeah, it felt like it. It was, yeah.
Yeah, he was. Next time I'll tell you and clamp to you when he's tight like that.
Just please, yeah, he was taking all the air off my door. I had to come out of the throttle multiple times.
Yeah, that's why he did it.
Yeah, and that's why he's leading, because he squeezed, but he's his teammate, you know, and he's like, it's the first darn lap. Don't be squeezing me down. And Ben said, why did I get so loose? And the spotter said, he clamped down on you. He was right on your door. That'll happen as the race goes on more and more, but you kind of like to have a break or two here early with that side force stuff.
And I think that's why Tom Majeski takes the outside, because he doesn't want to be that guy on the inside and be vulnerable to losing that downforce like Ben Rhodes was.
Well, that was an interesting start from 3 wide up front and side drafting and the crash in the back.
Unfortunately, we only made it a half a lap, and now we've been under caution for about 6.5 laps. So sit tight. I have a feeling this is going to be a good one, just like it is always here with the Truck Series.
That half lap tells you what we're dealing with here. There's a lot of aggression and a lot of excitement.
Heather.
Well, just listening in on the conversation here with Brett Holmes, crew chief Jerry Baxter, he's extremely frustrated with the 24 of Raja Caruth right now, and he actually told him, you might need to take care of what just happened. So we'll have to keep an eye on the rear of the field with the 32 of Brett Holmes and the 24 to see if anything comes of this.
And Heather, they're right together. They're bumper to bumper. So Brett's just ahead, and there you see Raja coming out there after they patched up that nose. Be interesting to see how long that patch lasts, Phil. It looked kind of weird the way they did it, but so far so good.
I want to know what he means by take care of it.
Well, you might find out in a minute, huh?
Green flag in the air once again. Ty Majeski on the outside. Ben Rhodes, and they're trying to make it 3 wide once again behind him.
A good push by the blue and white truck of Christian Eckes. Gets Majeski out front.
Ooh, nice exit there by Rhodes to get ahead of Eckes. Can he swing up, or will Eckes use the momentum on the high side to get back there?
Eckes actually is able to clear Ben Rhodes as they get down to turn 3.
Zane Smith sneaking his nose in there underneath Stuart Friesen. It's good tight racing here at St. Louis.
3 wide back there. Look at Matt Crafton, that bright yellow truck. He was up about 10 positions on that first lap.
Yeah, he didn't get to qualify as we go 3 wide into 1. That just sounds scary to me.
51 and Jack Wood goes high. Battle for the lead. Christian Eckes.
This number 19 Napa truck was the fastest in the long run yesterday.
That's what the talk in the garage area was this morning, that those 2 trucks right now battling for the lead.
What about 3 wide for the lead?
Well, we have that too.
Sorts out quickly to 2 wide.
But Ty Majeski hangs on to it.
I'm impressed with Zane Smith in that seafoam green truck. He's moving up quickly.
I like that, Michael.
Whoa.
Stewart looks like he has a good truck, solid truck early on here, right behind Zane Smith, the red 52.
Grant Enfinger is going to size up Stuart Friesen in that 23.
And the gaggle behind him.
There's our 2 players.
Hocevar as well, the 42 truck on the outside. He's stuck behind his teammate. Now he's going to pull out. That's Lawless Allen, the 45. Long way to go here, though. 160 laps at this racetrack is a lot of laps.
We just are always side by side in the truck series. That's the normal day's work. That's Daniel Dye out on the outside there. There's a good onboard shot from Daniel.
Still in.
It's a Rackley truck of Matt DiBenedetto.
Still inside.
Jesse Love to the inside of Daniel Dye. This is the battle for 16th.
Side 88.
Here comes Matt Crafton. Started in the back, Phil.
A lot of people in the garage here said he was really, really strong in practice.
Haley Deegan in that 13 right there with her teammate. She's the black truck.
The 88 of Matt Crafton. You mentioned he had to start in the back. He failed technical inspection 3 times, so that means he had to give up his pit selection and drop to the rear.
They finally strung it out here, got nose to tail, but there's going to be a lot of action, a lot of passing. Fast trucks going to the rear always makes it entertaining.
I think if Matt Crafton can get inside the top 15 at the end of this first stage, I think they'll think that was pretty good work. And Christian Eckes has a pretty good truck as well, pulling away from Zane Smith by about 4 truck lengths now in that battle for 3rd.
Eckes made a run for the lead 3 wide. It didn't work out, and he settled back into the 3rd position, and he's just remained there.
He said he's got a good long run truck, so I'm waiting to see as those 2 in front of him wear out those tires, what Eckes can do with it. But behind him, Zane Smith, I mean, defending series champion. He's already got a couple of wins on the season, but he's coming off of his 3 worst finishes of the year. So really looking for a rebound with Zane.
Very uncharacteristic to have trouble 3 races in a row for that team. They're just solid week in and week out.
Let's get an update on Eckes. Regan.
Well, Jamie, you see Christian Eckes right there and trying to battle for 2nd place right now with Ben Rhodes. Spoke to Christian right before he got in the truck earlier today, though, and he's under the weather. Keep an eye on this. Said he feels absolutely terrible. Has had a little bit of a summer cold all week long. Told me to keep my distance away from him. Michael, Phil, you guys know as well as I do, though. You get into a race car or a race truck and it's fast, that's the best medicine you can ever get.
Yeah, without a doubt. But I tell you that talking about the heat, that's going to compound that thing, especially if you're not feeling good.
Stage 1, working lap 16 here. Ty Majeski has led all of them. Welcome back to the Toyota 200, where Ty Majeski continues to lead, and Ty Majeski has now led more laps today than all 11 races of 2023 combined. So what a day for him.
You know, I was talking to him down in the garage yesterday, and he said this is probably the racetrack that he has the most experience in. He's won a couple super late model races here, so obviously very, very comfortable this racetrack. And man, is he showing it.
You know, it's funny you said that about laps led, because he's finished second twice. He's got as many top 5 finishes as anybody in the whole series, and he's just there every week. Seems like maybe just missing that one spot at the end of some of these races.
And at the top of the show, remember, he's second points behind Corey Heim, just 26 behind. If he can hold on here and win this stage, obviously he's going to gain 10 points right then and there, and pulled it within 16 of Corey Heim.
Been a model of consistency. Ty Majeski takes care of his equipment, but still needs to get that one more spot, which is what he's doing so far today, having a good run with 14 laps to go in stage 1. Hearing Dean Thompson, coming off his best finish of the year, is on pit road.
There comes the 5 truck down. There has to be something wrong under the hood, or
he was running 12th at the time.
not a lot of activity there. They're going to go indeed under the hood on that 5 truck as Tanner Gray sizes up Tyler Ankrum.
Heather.
Well, Dean Thompson telling his team right now that he has lost all oil pressure on that 5. They keep wanting to verify that he lost everything, so they're going to send the Ilmore guys over to that pit box right now.
One of 5 Tricon garage drivers. And I know when you see a truck like this, one of your teammates come down pit road, it gets your attention. They want to know what's happening under that hood.
Yeah, and you, as a driver, you want to think, well, maybe the gauge is bad or whatever, but you can't take a chance, because obviously it would be catastrophic if he lost oil pressure at speed.
Isn't racing cruel? We just talked about Dean and that big run he had at Charlotte, and now he's on pit road with trouble. That's just the ups and downs of this sport that we all love so much.
Tanner Gray has settled that battle for the 9th spot over Tyler Ankrum.
He's got a fast truck today. Lost Boys on that truck.
Tanner having a great year right now. He's in the top 10. He's above the cut line in our playoff standing. Started out that year with that career best of 2nd at Daytona.
3 races here at Gateway, so he's got the experience. Looked pretty good yesterday.
Wow, there we go.
It's climbing.
Yeah,
it's going to get to 130, I think.
And that's real. That's legit. I mean,
yes.
that's not inflated whatsoever. That's exactly what that temperature is right there.
And just remember, he's got a helmet and fireproof underwear. I mean, there's more temperature in that body than just what's in that truck.
Christian Eckes running 3rd in the 19. We know he's under the weather, Regan, but does he have more issues?
Well, Jamie, he does. It's very early on in a 160-lap race, but the report from Christian Eckes to the team, his brakes are going away quick on that truck, does not like the stopping power, starting to lose the ability to get that truck to slow down. That's not going to get any better on lap 25 here.
And Regan, you know how important those brakes are. We talk about how sharp turn number 1 is, even downshift getting in there. This is a hard braking zone, maybe one of the hardest in all of NASCAR when you dive down into turn 1 with that type of speed.
Yeah, Ty Majeski told me, Michael, that he uses as much brake getting down to turn 1 here as any racetrack that he goes to, road courses and Martinsville included. He'll be okay down at the other end of the racetrack. Just barely touch the brakes, possibly get down into turn number 3. But if those brakes go away, it's going to be a struggle for him down in 1 and 2.
It's aggravating too, because you don't know how hard to push it. You don't know when those brakes are going to get worse and worse. So let's just take a look at the RPM and the speed that he takes down into turn 1.
Slow front here.
Trouble on the bottom there.
Upwards of 160 miles an hour, 163.
Look, all the way down to under 100 miles an hour.
That's why they're shifting down there, right?
Christian Eckes finished 2nd here last year, so he's certainly one that we've kept our eye on, running 3rd right now. We'll keep an eye on those problems.
Ty Majeski has opened up almost a 4-second lead now over the 2nd running Ben Rhodes.
Just consistently running the fastest laps on the track.
Sounds like Dean Thompson is finished for the day. Just saw them pushing the truck back to the garage. And we have another issue here for the 34, Stephen Malazzi.
Everything is dead. All the gauges are dead. I have nothing right now.
Calm down. I need you to cycle the power.
They're going to try to walk him through cycling it, but if the battery's dead, I mean, there's no cycling it. NASCAR will have to go out and retrieve Stephen.
Yeah, these engines are fuel injected, so sometimes you have to recycle the system when that happens. But again, if the battery's dead, the battery's dead. There's no recycling going to help that.
So caution comes out for that for the second time today. 29 of 160 laps so far today.
Tom Majeski says, I didn't necessarily need that. You talked about that 4-second lead. He's getting ready to cruise into a stage win, playoff point. Now he's going to have to regroup. And we could. You think we see some?
I think we do.
Split strategies, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, the guys that desperately needed the stage points will probably stay out. But there's some drivers that really don't care that much about stage points, and they're going to come in now, get to have that track position when we restart the second stage.
Quick stage here, just 35 laps for stage 1, 35 laps for stage 2.
Guys, been really impressed with Chase Purdy. He's had a really good year. He's had 5 top 10s already this year, having a solid season. Right now running 7th in front of some really good trucks. Chase is doing a great job.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, Phil, that it's just steady and consistent. And when you build that base, then you can start bumping up there to the top 5 and running for victories. And Chase is such a great spirit, a fun guy to be around. And it's cool to see. You know, a lot of pressure comes when you drive for this organization with all the wins and the successes they've had, and to be able to stand up to that and perform at this level, I think I like what I'm seeing here.
Drives for Kyle Busch Motorsports, of course. Kyle very involved with his drivers. He actually called him before practice yesterday to chat with them. Tomorrow on FS1 for the second time ever, the NASCAR Cup Series heads to St. Louis, where Joey Logano looks to defend last year's win against a hungry pack in the Heartland. Coverage begins at 2 Eastern with green flags flying at 3:30. And we just mentioned Kyle Busch. He's on the pole for tomorrow.
Man, I think he put down a perfect lap. You could just tell while he's waiting for everybody to finish up.
Smiling, joking.
He said, you know, that's when you say, if you get some of that, you can have it.
Go ahead. You deserve it.
I did my job. He said, they asked him how it stuck. He said, I made it stick. No, wait a minute. The team did. We all did. But that's just a great feeling when you perform at that level.
Well, he said they had to work so hard at that end of the racetrack, and it really made it work. Look at that little one Ryan Blaney had. She's got to be happy seeing her driver win on Monday, and Penske looks really strong for tomorrow. Got a lot of different winners this season. We've talked about it, 9 different winners through 11 races, 8 straight different winners coming into today. And there's a lot of faces that are very capable of finding their way to victory lane who are still waiting for a win this year. There they are.
Yeah, right now, obviously, we don't even have Chase Purdy on that list. Chase right now running in the 7th spot, really doing a nice job. But obviously, we know Ty Majeski's going to win any race now for sure.
You saw Stuart Friesen there. He's running in the 5th spot. He's actually below the cut line right now by just 1 point. He's in 11th. And I mentioned the playoff picture because it is the Truck Series. We only have 4 races remaining after today before that cutoff and the playoffs begin.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's months till the Cup Series is ready to go playoff racing, but it won't be that long for the truckers.
That's why when you start the season, you better be set on go and get it done early. Guarantee yourself a spot in the playoffs, because we're going to hand out a NASCAR championship come November in Phoenix.
You know, I think this stage may end under caution. Obviously, if they're going to open pit road and give these guys an opportunity to come down pit road, or will they keep pit road closed till the stage ends, and that will take away the strategy option.
I think they open it up here and we go back with 1 to go.
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to open it here. And they could do it. They could do a quickie yellow as well. Say everybody can come to pit road, lead lap trucks as well as lap down trucks. It is going to be open here.
They've had a history of just throwing the green flag and getting the stage finished under green. I think we're going to see that. Let's see, we've got 33 here. Maybe not.
Bunch of them coming.
I think
road is open. Looks like Ty Majeski will lead him.
Who's going to stay out and grab the stage?
Looks like Grant Enfinger, the first to stay out. It will be a quickie yellow here. Heather, they're making their way down pit road to you.
Yes, they are. And Ben Rhodes and his crew chief, Brian Ross, really debating on whether or not to come. But they said if the 98 comes, we have to follow them in order to stay in the top 3. So he said right now they just need to work on the same spot that they were tied in yesterday. So they're going to do a track bar adjustment and 4 tires on the 99. Also in will be the 52 of Stuart Friesen. He's just complaining he's a little skatey in 3 and 4, and it's hard to pass right now. So they'll make an adjustment there to tighten him up. Regan Smith.
Well, the 19 of Christian Eckes, we reported on the brake issues that he's having. He's also too loose into the corners right now. Wants some entry stability with that truck. And the 98 of your leader, Ty Majeski, he's a little bit too tight in the middle of the corner. Said it's maybe going tighter as the run goes. And a long discussion about if they were going to pit or not. They thought very hard about staying out right there.
Yeah, it sounds like Ty Majeski made up all their minds. Let's follow him to keep that track position as the race off pit road.
Race off the tightest pit road in all of NASCAR, just 22 feet across there. So these guys have to be really careful exiting their pit.
How about the 4, Chase Purdy? Taking 2 tires there, gains 4 spots.
Yeah, we were running into each other with 38 feet to work with last week at Charlotte, right?
You
Race
saw
off pit road here.
how tight it was. There's Chase Purdy getting that ground. A few trucks stayed out, Phil. Are we going to come to 1 to go here?
I hope so. We need to finish this stage under green here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And if we do, we're going to see, yes, we're coming to 1 to go. We're going to see a heck of a mess. Maybe not a, when I say mess, not a wreck. We're going to see 3, 4 wide because those trucks, although tire fall off isn't that great here, so it might not be as bad as you'd think. But we've got Grant Enfinger, Matt DiBenedetto on that front row staying out. Jack Wood as well. Those are 3 fast trucks. Spencer Boyd was running okay as well. So we'll see how this plays out.
Saw Stuart Friesen kind of hesitate in his box. Let's take a look at his stop.
You see that square up in front of the left front of that truck? That's where that truck is supposed to stop. You saw him stop about 3 feet short of that, so the jack bend really wasn't in position initially, but obviously really slow on the right front.
He was waiting on the tire.
That's weird. Somebody forgot to take their tire to him, and then he stalled the engine. Heather, what all went on there? It didn't look very good.
Well, you guys did a pretty good job explaining it. I was just going to say they forgot to bring the right front out for Stuart there. So a little mistake by the pit crew here, but he also stalled it, leaving his pit box as well. So they were trying to make that strategy call of doing 2 tires to gain track position, and unfortunately it didn't work out for him. So we'll have to see if the 52 can work his way back up to the front here.
I was watching Christian Eckes pit stop as well, and he looked like he had some trouble, and he's restarting back in the 12th spot right now.
This is going to be wild, Jamie. You're going to have to really call this one.
What did you say, Michael?
It's going to be a mess.
Going to be a
I'd
one-lap
like to say
shootout.
it's going to be action-packed, so get ready.
Yes, it is. Matty D's thinking stage win, as is Grant Enfinger, Jack Wood. But look right there on row 2. We know how fast number 98 is, and Majeski is right there.
Matty D was talking yesterday, saying he had a rocket ship here last year, and he's ready. They're looking for their first win of the season.
I think that win for this stage comes off that second row. I think Majeski gets there. What do you think, Tom?
I'm not sure if they're going to be. Grant Enfinger's going to have something to say about that. His tire's already up to operating pressures.
It's going to be a shootout for stage number 1. Green flag is in the air. Grant Enfinger, Matt DiBenedetto, Jack Wood holds up his teammate Chase Purdy going into turn 1. Grant Enfinger hangs on.
Here comes Majeski from the second row.
Good exit off the corner for Grant Enfinger.
Very good exit, Phil. That's a great call. Look at that mess in the back, all spread out.
One more corner for Enfinger to hold him off.
Right, cool, you're clear. You're clear. Just watch for him to cross over here.
Grant Enfinger comes out of turn 4. He leads Ty Majeski. Green and white checker is in the air. Grant Enfinger wins stage 1.
Great job by Grant Enfinger. We saw how fast the 98 was, but he was able to get the job done.
Got good news and bad news for Grant Enfinger. If he pits now, he's going to lose all that track position, but he did get the stage win.
First stage win for Grant Enfinger of the season. This team's hitting it right when it counts. Can he hang on? Welcome back to St. Louis. Under caution as stage one just came to an end. And you see the playoff leaderboard coming into today's race. Things are heating up here.
Yeah, only 5 to go, including this one. Just 7 points for Tanner Gray in ninth. Matt DiBenedetto just a slim 1-point margin over Stuart Friesen. And don't count out Nick Sanchez. And we talked about Chase Purdy and how good he's been this year.
All right, you said the good news for Grant Enfinger. He got his first stage win of the season. Bad news is you're going to have to give up all that track position. It's coming your way, Heather.
And Matt DiBenedetto coming in from the 5th position. I just checked with his crew chief, Chad Kendrick, and he said, we're not bad, especially in clean air. Otherwise, we're just a little tight, but he really wants to get Matt track position here. And then for the 23 of Grant Enfinger, that's his first stage win in quite a while, but right now he's having an issue with the left front splitter hitting the ground coming out of 4, so they're going to work on the truck to get that front lifted up just a little bit. Regan?
You could see that left front tire changer reach and put a packer in the shock, and that just will hold that truck up off the racetrack a little bit better.
Isn't that great what a feel Grant has for that truck? He just felt like something wasn't right there. The team probably confirmed it through video and pictures, and they made that adjustment.
Saw his pit crew there. They're a development team for RFK. A lot of the teams do that in the truck series. And you see Jesse Love. I know it says Heim. Remember, he's replacing him today. Heim out under the weather.
Looks like they're making some major adjustments on the left front.
Let's see if we can get a word with Grant. Grant Enfinger, it's Waltrip and the Fox team. Do you copy?
Access road, so
shoot.
Pretty much just staying with his bumper.
He's talking to his spotter about lines and different things. We talked about the communication from the team. Look how low that left front is, Phil. Let's see if we can get Grant. Hey, Grant Enfinger, it's Michael Waltrip and the team. Do you copy?
I got you, Michael.
Hey, bud, a little bit of concern about the left front, but great job of staying out there and winning that stage. Did you think you were going to be able to hold them off?
Ty's definitely quick, but I like the call that Hensley made. I was surprised more trucks didn't stay out, so now we kind of dug us a hole here. But no, the picker actually did good. We were making an adjustment to the truck, but I do think our Champion Power Equipment Chevy is pretty good. Not good enough to run with Ty yet, but that's why we were making an adjustment on it, and Hensley tends to make it better every time we come down pit road.
Well, I love the call, too. Congratulations. Good job. We're going to keep watching. Have fun, bud.
Thanks, Michael.
I know it doesn't matter if I like the call or not, but I thought it was cool.
I did too.
Grant Enfinger will restart 27th, but it's Ty Majeski leading them. Stage number 2 coming up next.
car kind of took off. And I was able to start picking people off.
Here comes Kyle Larson out of nowhere. A handful of laps ago, he was 10th.
Once it got like shiny, slick, and you could run the fence, run the middle in 3 and 4, and do some different things, I really was able to go forward.
Kyle Larson slides up into the 4th spot. Brett Marks starting to slip away as, boy, things getting interesting.
You know, I thought we were going to have a really good shot to win.
Dirt Episode 4 airs Tuesday, June 6th at 7 Eastern. And if you've seen any of them, you can't turn away. It's amazing.
Don't miss it. It is intense. The action is incredible. The commitment. Just, I love everything I watch when I see dirt.
Well, I think when you see what Kyle Larson's able to do, no matter if it's in a truck or an Xfinity car or a Cup car, you appreciate it. But if you watch this series and you see where he comes from, you realize he is one of the greatest drivers of our generation.
He's going to add a little bit more to his resume next year in May, isn't he?
Yes, he is. The Indianapolis 500 for Kyle Larson. Pretty incredible. It's a great series. You can catch it on FS1. All right, pit stops in the books. Stage number 2 upon us. Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, Zane Smith, and Tanner Gray.
Look at that dive by Stuart Friesen to the inside into turn 1.
How about
Ben
Matt
Rhodes.
Crafton?
Where'd Matt Crafton come from? Remember, he started this race in the back, that bright yellow truck making his way forward. Battle for 7th right now.
Chase Purdy looked down on the inside of Crafton, squeezed him out. Look at Zane running that higher line than we've seen all day. Can he make that work?
We saw that higher line work last year. We haven't seen many people up there, as you mentioned, Michael, but Zane's going to try to make a go of it.
Oh, a little bit of a bump there, or did Ty just get loose?
Battle for the lead right here. Christian Eckes has had his issues today, but he wants a piece of this. Side by side they go. Zane Smith wants to lead. Christian Eckes coming with him down the backstretch into turn 3.
Majeski's not going to want to give that lead up. He was going, a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, Eckes got loose on the bottom there, and Gray slid into him.
Zane Smith takes the lead for the first time today.
Stuart Friesen down to the inside in a side-by-side battle for 4th with Ben Rhodes.
Ben Rhodes lost 3 spots there on that restart.
How about Hocevar? That's Hocevar right there behind them, inside of Tanner Gray. He started at the back as well.
And came down pit road and made some adjustments to his truck.
Nick Sanchez in that too. Talk about a win waiting to happen. Wow. 98 is stout, isn't he, Phil?
Sure is.
Ty Majeski's going to rally back and grab the lead away from Zane.
What a textbook pass that was. Just get the throttle a little bit quicker, up off of turn 4, get your nose underneath the other truck, and beat him down into turn number 1.
This battle for 7th here with Tanner Gray. And Nick Sanchez, we know he has fast trucks every single week, but he's a rookie, so he's made some mistakes. They've had issues happen. Danny Stockman really believes in this kid.
What is it like to win a stage, Phil, and then pit? Well, 3 wide.
3 wide, yeah.
For 20th position, that's the position. That's the spot that Grant Enfinger in the 23 finds himself in right now, racing alongside Haley Deegan down into turn 1.
We saw that light blue truck. That's Raja Caruth. Also started at the back. He was on the very outside. He was actually in the 3rd lane and emerged off of turn 4 ahead of those other 2 trucks.
Well, he also had some damage in that first lap crash. Taped the nose up.
Chase Purdy in the 4 still up there. This is the battle for 9th.
Brett Holmes is in that battle. We know he's not pleased with Raja right now. We'll see how that sorts out the rest of the day.
Jake Garcia moves underneath Haley Deegan.
Jack Wood looking 3 wide.
Another short stage here, just 35 laps. So we saw Jesse Love sitting on pit road for an extended time. Regan, what was happening there?
Yeah, Jamie, just to update what was going on with that truck, Jesse Love was having issues with the radiator fan. The truck was overheating. They opted to take the time right there to try and fix that radiator fan. Check with Scott Zipadelli, crew chief. Fortunately, they were able to get it repaired, so he won't have to worry about that the rest of the day.
Regan, they are all over each other on the racetrack. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Sorry for that during your report, but I thought they were going around.
3 wide, battle for 11th. And Jesse Love back in the 23rd spot right now in that 11.
That's a great battle right there with the 17 of Taylor and the 15 of Tanner.
I love it. The brothers always find their way to each other. It's like Kurt and Kyle all those years.
I never did really see all that much of Daryl.
I didn't see all that much of Benny either. So.
You know, what you love is some brotherly love. What you don't want is a brotherly shove. And if you get into one another, that can cause a little bit of uncomfort at the dinner table.
Because, oh, by the way, they're teammates.
Look at that big dive down into the corner for the 15 of Tanner.
Look at this run. Chase Purdy's getting ready to get right here.
Chase Purdy in the 4. Let's listen to him.
Don't worry about it. Just go get these guys. I don't even know what he's mad about, do you? No. Trying to calm him down. He needs to be mad at himself is what he needs to be mad at. Exactly. Like, I don't get it.
Obviously, that's Channel 2.
Yeah. And you know, Phil, I bet you they were talking about us like that all those years.
Totally.
On Channel 2. We never knew about
Totally. I didn't know there was a Channel 2. Did you?
It sounded like he said, I want to wreck him so bad, and they don't even know what he's talking about or who he's talking about. But that was after the restart. It sounds like he was talking about the 52 of Stuart Friesen.
I think Chase is doing an outstanding job here right now, running in the 10th spot.
But that's your team's job. Your crew chief, your spotter, to calm you down, focus ahead. You can't stay fired up or you're going nowhere.
Matt Crafton's not going to be real happy with that big block down the front stretch by the 2 of Nick Sanchez.
You know, when we raced, there wasn't a whole lot of blocking. There was some squeezing here and there, I know that. But these guys now, they block. And we are a veteran like Matt Crafton who wouldn't do that back in the day. It really makes you hot. Glad we don't have his radio right now.
That's a battle for 7th. But Ty Majeski continues to lead here with 108 laps to go. Under caution here for the 4th time at St. Louis as you see the damage to the 51 of Jack Wood. take a look exactly what happened to him. He was running in the 24th spot at the time.
It was a mess, Jamie, as they saw side by side on our coverage here from Fox. Up in turn 3, Norm Benning's getting lapped down on the bottom of the racetrack, and that just slid everybody up the hill. Raja's trying to squeeze to the inside there, but look behind him.
See, Norm doesn't really stay next to the bottom. Obviously, Brett Holmes is going to try to get behind the inside. The 0-2 of Chris Hacker runs in the back of Jack Wood and turns him into the inside wall.
Yeah, Hacker got a hold of Wood and just didn't let go. But Norm was up the hill, you're right. Just, ooh, and he clipped Norm too as he went by. See what Hacker saw from his.
And maybe listen to his throttle as well. Because as you mentioned, he got against the 51 of Jack Wood and never turned him loose. I think just a misjudgment by Chris Hacker, and then I think, you know, once it turned Jack sideways, then he couldn't stay off him for sure.
You heard him, you know, pedaling the throttle. I think he just couldn't, like you said. Certainly wasn't intentional, but a misjudgment for sure. That doesn't fix the 51 truck, but that's what it looked like to me as well. Not enough damage to end his day, so maybe they can get it. Speaking of the pits, do they come, Phil?
Well, we were talking about it during the break, and I kind of like the idea. We know you're going to have to pit again. Obviously, with about 13 laps to go on the stage, I like pitting now and getting that track position. Just you won't be able to go quite as far as the rest of the guys that don't pit, or when they come in at the end of the stage also.
What if your Grant Enfinger wins that stage, gets that shot to the back? He's made his way up to 15th. Maybe he does something different than what the rest do.
How about Zane Smith? How about the guy running second? What do you think about him coming to pit road?
And that's exactly what Grant Enfinger did as well. He said, you know, it got me once. I'm going to flip this baby.
You guys know what you're talking about. Look at this. Zane Smith. Looks like Carson Hocevar. A whole lot of trucks coming down pit road. Regan, they're headed your way.
Well, Jamie, I think this is a good break and a good opportunity for the 42 of Carson Hocevar to pit. He took 2 tires on the first stop, right sides only, because of that concern with the left side jack post. Look for them to potentially try and do the left side tires here, as they felt like at some point today they were going to have to do that. As for the truck right now, it's pretty good, just a little bit too free for him from what he would, or excuse me, a little bit too tight in the middle for him for what he would like. And then the 38 is Zane Smith, fighting for rear lateral grip with that truck right now in the 38.
Adjustments. It's hot and slick out there. We're over 90 degrees here just outside of St. Louis. Grant Enfinger makes his way out of his pit box.
I think that jack issue for Carson Hocevar is going to cost him a little bit of time, but I think if he took his time and slid that jack all the way underneath the frame rail, he's going to be okay.
Carson Hocevar still in the pit box. We're under caution for this incident. Jack Wood and Chris Hacker get together. They made repairs. Jack Wood will continue. All right, so going to break, we saw some truckers pit, and the 38 of Zane Smith was one of them, but was he supposed to pit?
You're supposed to pit there. We weren't, but it's okay. I'll be just, I'll let me know. I was confused if we're coming and then off of the 98. It was just off 98. It was just he was in front of you. It's all good. We'll be fine here.
He either listened to you guys or
he might have,
played
yeah.
follow the leader.
Might have, but I still think it was a pretty good call. And he's in the top 15, so he didn't lose that much track position. He's going to gain that track position back big time at the end of the stage in about 10 laps.
Sounds like they're not too concerned about it. Has a truck good enough to race his way back up through there. You see him back in the 15th spot. As green flag waves once again, Christian Eckes on the front row with Ty Majeski once again. Ben Rhodes holding tight there in the outside line. Stuart Friesen, top 5 all day for him, and they're 3 wide once again behind him.
How about Christian Eckes goes way down to the inside, trying to get away from Ty Majeski.
Nick Sanchez in that too, in the top 5 and driving underneath Ben Rhodes. They're side by side for the lead.
Eckes got loose, got into Majeski.
Stuart Friesen just mentioned top 5 all day. He takes the lead for the first time today as there's a heck of a battle heating up behind him. Nick Sanchez gets around Ty Majeski, tries to take that second spot, doesn't quite clear him yet.
Friesen always finishes in the top 5 here at this racetrack. Great racetrack for Stuart Friesen. And look at him open up a 3 or 4 truck link league. And how about Ben Rhodes going to try to jump to the inside of Sanchez?
Keep him pinched down there. Keep him out of the throttle. Still down there quarter.
keep him pinched. Keep him pinched. And then as soon as you pinch him too much, he gets sideways and you crash. It's a delicate balance. And here comes Grant Enfinger. 3 wide after that pit stop.
Watch the 24 of Raja Karuth here on the replay.
Whoa.
That was a big lick.
That's Zane Smith, I think, right behind him as well.
That was a big save, I'll tell you. He kept it heading in the right direction. That was impressive.
And Zane was really glad he kept it in the right direction also.
Well, that's when pitting, maybe when you weren't supposed to, can hurt you. He's back there in the mix.
Daniel Dye in the top 10 in that 43 truck. What about the battles all over this racetrack? We said that would happen today, and it's going down.
3 wide, you can see right in the middle of our screen. 3 wide again, maybe 4 wide.
6 laps to go in the second stage. Stuart Friesen leading for the first time today. Ty Majeski behind him. Nick Sanchez. They've made some good adjustments to this race truck.
How about that line? Majeski was running really high over there in turn 3.
And he's doing that to get off turn 4 stronger. Will it work? Will that pay off for him? We saw that work in the Cup race last fall. Guys going really, or excuse me, last year, guys going really high.
There he is again. Now see if he turns it down to the bottom and try to get that good run up off the corner, and he does. Definitely about a 1/10 of a second faster than Friesen that last lap, and he's gained on him even more this lap.
These racers are so talented. They're going to sniff around and find some groove. Go where they're not, making sure you're doing something different so that you can get some runs on the truck you're racing against.
And look at the momentum that Majeski will have coming up off the corner.
And as soon as that happens, Stuart Friesen's spotter saying he's going high, he's gaining on you, and Stuart will just adjust and take that line away if he can. What about Stuart Friesen today? He'd only led 3 laps this year until today. Oh, trouble.
66 goes around. That's Connor Jones. On a Thor Sport truck, he's a part-time racer making just his 3rd start in the Craftsman Truck Series. He was running 16th at the time of that incident.
Yeah, we're so close to the end of the stage. That'll end the stage.
You can see damage on the right front there. Has every look of some contact, sent him around.
Take a look and see what happened. Can we just mention just what these teams have done?
Just take it
Thor
to the
Sport,
garage,
Tricon Garage, both running 5 trucks apiece.
That's him on the inside right here.
Oh,
just a late move down to the bottom underneath Matt DiBenedetto, and just got squeezed a little bit, ran out of room, got into Matt a little bit.
yeah, that was a mistake, a late dive, as you said, Phil.
I mean, that's a deal where Matt DiBenedetto's spotter is going to, you know, doesn't really hardly even have time to say inside. And he wasn't even really looking inside. You know, if you fan out a little bit, the spotter may be able to tell Matt, hey, he's looking inside. But that was such a late dive that I don't think the spotter even had a chance.
Nice effort by Matty D, saving it. So that's the 5th caution of the day. Let's look back a little further and see how Stuart Friesen took the lead right here. He's that 52 red truck on the inside.
The 19 of Beckus is going to get loose underneath Majeski, isn't he, Michael?
Yeah, and you can see how he eased it into the corner, but just couldn't hold it down as Majeski comes around the outside. The 19 truck sideways, and look at Stuart Friesen. Yes, here's an opening.
Thank you, boys. Ben Rhodes says, I want to come, I want to come.
Beckus did all he could do to stay off of Majeski. Nick Sanchez is also going to take advantage as well and grab that 2nd spot for a few moments.
That was all on a restart. And guess what? We're going to have another restart. So that power move after the restart will give Stuart Friesen his first stage win of 2023. So we've had 2 first-time stage winners so far today. Maybe we'll get a first-time winner of the season at the end of this thing. Stuart Friesen leads them. Welcome back to the Craftsman Truck Series. The end of stage 2 just took place. It looks like they're still working on Jack Wood's truck. We had all kinds of things happening there in the last 10 minutes. But in the end, it was Stuart Friesen picking up his first stage win of the season. Ty Majeski, Nick Sanchez, Christian Eckes, Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton, Grant Enfinger, who won stage 1, Tanner Gray, Daniel Dye, and then Taylor Gray.
Daniel Dye's first stage points ever here in the Truck Series, so proud of him.
There's a look from the number 43 truck. Looks like he's pretty relaxed, huh?
Yeah. Hand out the window, trying to get direct a little air in.
Well, we've been talking about Carson Hocevar and the issues that he's had. He has a fast truck, but he's had problems, Regan.
Well, and Jamie, these cautions continuing to help them out. They've actually already pitted once here while the pits were still closed to try and work on the left rear of that truck. You see the damage there. There is nowhere left to jack the truck up right now. The jack post is completely bent up horizontal with the race truck right now. They're having to jack it under the frame, so they've been coming in, working on in front of the left rear tire to try and clean that area up, get some Barabond on it. Going to be very challenging later on, depending on what happens towards the end of this race, for them to get left sides on that truck. So he may have to do it on just right sides from here on out. And a little bit frustrating for them because they tried something completely new today, something they've never done here before, in an effort to get better, not only for here, but to learn something for Phoenix later on the year if they make it to the championship 4.
Regan, the problem is he missed the frame rail and jacked it up on the rocker panel, and they have just about destroyed the side of that truck.
You talked about the changes, Regan, they made. This truck was fast, like he has been every week lately. Not only with this truck, but those 2 straight top 10s in the Xfinity Series, that's been impressive as well. This kid's got talent.
And by the way, as you see it there, the Cup Series making his first career start tomorrow for Spire Motorsports. He'll start 26th. He's filling in for Corey LaJoie.
Solid day.
Yeah.
He checked every box in that Cup car, too. I was watching him in practice. We did practice earlier with Mike Joy and Clint, and he's one of our guys. He's our trucker, so we keep an eye on how, the boys that come through here, and we get to talk about. And he did a great job in that whole session and qualified 26th.
Good job by Carson Hocevar. Well, they're making their way down pit road. They're coming your way, Heather.
And Ben Rhodes is going to be the first truck we're going to talk about, and he's fighting the same thing as that last stop, which is a tight race truck. So this time they're going to leave the track bar where it's at and do an air pressure adjustment to see if that helps him out. And then, of course, our stage winner, Stuart Friesen, he said he was pretty good, just a little tight, but not bad considering they only took right sides on that last stop. So no major adjustments here for the 52. Regan?
The two of Nick Sanchez having a good day as well. Told the team the truck is good. I don't really need any adjustments, just a good stop. And the 98 of Ty Majeski, of course, we saw him get up the track just a little bit there on that last restart with Christian Eckes. Just said that, man, he was frustrated with him about how they always get side by side and get into each other. On the splitter, pretty hard with that truck, as we see they are having difficulties on the right front, but on the splitter with that truck too much right now, a little bit tight in the center, both ends.
A lot of adjustments happening once again for these race trucks. Grant Enfinger, the 23, will be the leader as he stayed out.
Great job by Ben Rhodes' crew, Tanner Gray's crew, to gain a bunch of spots on pit road. Matt Crafton's as well. Now, obviously, a lot of the trucks that pitted back on lap number 58 will stay out.
Yeah, including Daniel Dye. You talked about those stage points. Now he's going to be restarting right up toward the front.
Things getting exciting for Daniel Dye.
So all these guys up front there, Majeski needing those points. Stuart Friesen needing points right there, right around the cut line. Matt DiBenedetto getting some points. Let's see if we can talk to our stage winner. Hey, Stuart Friesen, Phil Parsons, and Marco Waltrip. Jamie Little in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Awesome job winning that stage. It seems like that Ferris mower truck is always good here. You've had so many good runs here at St. Louis at Gateway. What is it about this place you like?
All of it. It's just a fun, technical racetrack. 3 and 4 reminds me a lot of 3 and 4 at Fonda Speedway. You can do a couple different things, get your truck to roll through there. Our Ferris Mowers TRD Pro is definitely rolling and making some hot cuts. So boys are doing a good job. Proud of all the guys in the pits. And we'll just hopefully we can get up front here and close it out.
All right, buddy. Finish it off. Have a great one.
Good, thanks, guys.
Was that a hot cuts? Is that a
hot cuts.
mowing term?
It must have been.
Pit road action for Grant Enfinger and the teams. We'll be back to St. Louis after this.
gotta keep them separated.
Hey! Man, you disrespecting me! Take 'em up!
You gotta keep them separated.
Hey! Don't pay no mind! We're under 18 and we'll be doing anytime! Hey!
Beautiful and hot day in St. Louis. 93 degrees and climbing. Oof. And a little bit hotter behind the wheel. We've been talking about the temperature inside those race trucks. Thank goodness for cool suits. You see it 118 degrees.
And every one of these trucks is just like that.
So let's shake things out here. The top 12 trucks all stayed out on track. Ben Rhodes, the first driver who pitted, had a great pit stop, so he'll restart here in the 13th spot. And Ty Majeski back there in the 21st position. As green flag in the air once again. It's Grant Enfinger leading them into turn 1.
Well, there was a bunch of them that wanted to pull out of line and make it 3 wide.
They're really wanting to dive bomb into turn 1. For some reason, they all decided that that wasn't a good idea, and that's why we're still green.
We have 2 women in the field today. Haley Deegan in the 13. Tony Breidinger making her second start in the Craftsman Truck Series. She's running 11th right now.
Look at the strong move for Daniel Dye through the center of the corner. Is able to drive up on the inside.
Here comes that sea foam green Ford of Zane Smith as well, right behind Daniel Dye.
That's just fun to say, isn't it, Phil?
It is.
Is that a color that you mentioned ever before I was in here with you?
I don't think so, but I'm very conscious of it now. And I think I'm enjoying it.
I liked the color of that truck so much yesterday, I chose my outfit based on it.
Well, I like what Daniel Dye's doing. That's difficult, running that bottom line. We've seen guys get loose down there. He's got a really fast number 43. See if he can hold on to it on the bottom.
At your door.
Daniel Dye, the 19-year-old from DeLand, Florida, a rookie.
Guys, look at that decal on the rear spoiler, the Trip Craftsman Truck Series Triple Truck Challenge. This is race number 2. Ben Rhodes won 50 grand last week. There's another 50 grand up for the winner of this race. If it's Ben Rhodes, he would get an extra 50. It'd be 150 grand so far in 2 weeks. But for sure, we're giving away 50 grand at least today.
This is a career day in the trucks for Daniel Dye. That was a strong move. He's running second. If he can keep that thing up in the top 5 all day long, that's how you build your career. That's how you get things going your direction. And that truck is handling so well. I like the way it squirts around the bottom.
Daniel Dye racing as well as he bowls, right, Michael? He's a great bowler.
He is that. He's a fun kid, too.
A bowler, a golfer.
And he's got the champion, Zane Smith, right behind him. So making these moves and performing like this is a very big confidence builder for a young man.
So going back to the Trip that you see there on the spoiler, you mentioned Ben Rhodes won last week. So if he wins today and then he wins in 3 weeks at our next race at Nashville, $500,000
That's a $500,000. That's a $500,000.
Amazing, $500,000.
Oh, trouble.
Around goes Taylor Gray in the 17. Caution is out for the 6th time here at St. Louis.
He did an awesome job of getting back in the throttle and getting those rear wheels going forward to keep that truck from backing in the wall. You can see if there's any contact at all, it's minimal. Great job by Taylor Gray.
He was back in the 18th spot. He was one of those trucks that pitted on that last go around.
Phil, don't we think these guys can go about 65 laps on gas, maybe a little bit?
Maybe stretch it to 70, possibly, yeah, but I don't think we can go from here. So this is too early for them to top off to try to get to the end.
See what happened here. Look at the 17 truck just coming into frame.
It's Sanchez in the 2, Hocevar in the 42.
Oh, he just gets in a little high, doesn't he, Phil?
Yeah.
And then he had to try to stay off of Sanchez and just made a bit of a mistake there.
You could see the front of the truck really dip down like he got on the brakes a little extra hard there.
No harm, no foul. Can learn from this.
Well, watch you get those rear tires going forward, and that keeps that truck from backing in the outside wall.
That's when people talk all the time. When do you know you're wrecked? As soon as I hit something. But I'm gonna drive it until I'm gonna hang on to it or do all I can until it makes contact.
See what Jesse Love saw.
Yeah, Taylor was up out of the way by the time Jesse got there.
Jesse's running in the 21st position right now. Taylor will come and get fresh tires, I would suppose, and maybe see if he can. Yeah,
I really don't see a lot of people coming to pit road here.
So Jesse Love raising that visor, a little toasty in there.
If you're one of the last trucks on the lead lap, maybe Jesse Love, then come in, maybe get an adjustment, top it off with fuel. That means you can go a little bit farther if we get a green flag run. But I don't think any of the guys running up front will come to pit road.
See Corey Heim's name on that truck just behind Jesse Love. Jesse was supposed to be in the 1, so his name is on the 1 truck that Tony Breidinger is racing. So they had to move a lot of things, adjust. And by the way, because of the triple truck challenge, no cup drivers are allowed. So they couldn't just call up a cup driver to jump in their truck.
There's Breidinger, as you mentioned, solid, just logging laps and learning. That's what it's all about when you get an opportunity like this.
82 laps in, 79 laps to go. Grant Enfinger is your leader. Taylor Gray's got his work cut out for him. Tonight is Baseball Night in America on Fox, and it doesn't get much bigger than this as Aaron Judge and the Yankees battle Mookie Betts and the Dodgers, or it's the Guardians taking on the Twins. Catch the action at 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area. And how about Mookie Betts? Back-to-back games with 2 home runs. I want to tune in, see if he can make it 3 in a row.
Huge.
He's hot too.
Yes, he is.
Hey, you see the number? There is a 5K race on this racetrack right after the race ends.
At 95-degree weather.
Yeah, that's commitment right there. Yeah. Good luck, buddy. He's getting acclimated right now, sitting in the stands.
There's the choose, and choose for Grant was to go high, and that put Daniel, he decided to go on the bottom. He did a nice job down there, but that's some tough treading, isn't it, Phil?
It is.
Kind of like to be up on that outside, but he didn't want to give up the front row, so.
And I think Grant, being his teammate, he's going to give him a little more room, maybe down here in turn 1 and 2, not really stick that thing right down next to that quarter panel of Daniels. Hopefully, anyway.
That's how they draw it up. But we see teammates in the Truck Series go wrong a lot of times, I'll say. Everybody's racing for their future. They're all trying as hard as they can to make a point, make a statement, leave this racetrack with a victory.
Chris getting a nice break here, 119 degrees during the caution flag.
always wonder, does it feel better when you're under caution and you feel the breeze, or when you're at speed? Does it make a difference?
I think under green is better because you're focused on what you're doing. You don't think about how hot it is so much. The brakes are nice, but after a bit, you're like, let's go racing.
Kyle Busch fan in the stands. All right, so Grant Enfinger, he has led 18 laps so far today. Daniel Dye spent more time up in the top 5 today than he has in any race in the Truck Series thus far.
Now he's just hoping no one dives out on him.
They fan out behind him, 4 wide as they head into turn 1. Ooh, Christian Eckes with a shove from the 52.
That's Taylor Gray there, got hit, and here's what we were worried about. Look at Zane Smith. He gets to the outside of Grant Enfinger now, and it's 3 wide behind them.
Zane Smith to the outside, tries to get around the 23 and take the lead. Can he make it stick?
We've seen Zane use that outside groove before, and he looks like he's got a chance at maybe taking the lead here from Grant Enfinger.
Look at that pack of snarling trucks down in toward turns 1.
Nose to nose for the lead here at St. Louis. Tyler Ankrum behind him, just waiting, watching.
Nice power move by Zane Smith to grab that lead from the outside. Grant's trying to fight back on the inside.
Great battle up front. There's battles all over the racetrack on this side. Haley Deegan gets a shove. She'll bring out the caution as she slams the outside wall in turn 3.
The brake, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
The 2.
Yeah, it looked like Nick Sanchez got into the back of Haley. And really a vulnerable position too. Maximum speed right as you're entering the corner.
We were just showing that battle back there for 11th.
And we talk about all the time how the intensity ratchets up as these races move forward toward the checker flag. Guys and girls just start not giving each other breaks, and that was a tough break right there for Haley.
That was really a hard hit. I was glad to hear her respond and say she was okay.
See what?
It's 3 wide in front of them, so obviously that's going to jumble things up. And watch Nick there with a 2 truck. Right there was just a little bit of touch on the right rear corner, it looked like.
Yeah, that totally avoidable. I don't know if she didn't drive in as far as he thought she might, but you can't just run over someone.
Wow,
watch
Nick
this hit here.
Sanchez.
That's just
all 4 tires up off the ground.
Remember, we saw speeds upward of 165 miles an hour down into the corner. Good to see Haley walk away.
Haley Deegan with a new team this year, trying to get more consistent. They've had some really good runs.
Yeah, that certainly wasn't on her there.
AMR safety team was quick to Deegan as she'll go to the infield care center.
See what we can see from Chris Hacker. Probably going to see how vicious of a hit this is.
You can certainly hear it from 2 trucks away.
Just hate it for Haley and her team. Rich Lushes and all his guys. Just watch the violence of this hit right here.
Those safer barriers. We talk about the safeties of these trucks and the cup cars and what NASCAR has done. The biggest safety innovation in my mind as a guy that has hit concrete walls. Heck, I even broke a gate once. The fact that those safer barriers are up and the drivers hit those, it's just so different.
There's a Haley Deegan fan disappointed by what he just saw. Haley finished 6th at Texas earlier in the season. Got a string of a couple good races going, and it's just been a tough month for that team. Cleanup continues from that hard hit by Haley Deegan. We're under caution for the 7th time. It has been a very busy month for the Craftsman Truck Series. Started in Kansas here. Grant Enfinger victorious there. Then we moved on to Darlington, where Christian Eckes picked up his second win of the year. And then you got Kyle Larson with that big splash at North Wilkesboro. Ben Rhodes went and won at Charlotte, his first win of the season. And now we're here, fifth and final race of this stretch. We'll take off a few weeks, and then this is what the final four, we could call it, looks like before the playoffs begin.
How about the disparity of racetracks here? Nashville, a mile and a third. Concrete, Mid-Ohio road course. Pocono, the tricky triangle, 2.5 miles, and a short track at Richmond.
That is a fun run to the playoffs.
Love that mix.
Who will be above that playoff cut elimination line?
So how about this? Zane Smith decided to pit there.
I like it.
I
Bill.
like it too. Absolutely.
Regan, you like it?
Well, I like it, especially if it works out, Michael. I checked with Chris Lawson, crew chief, just a moment ago. It was a late call to pit. They made that decision very late in the going, and they said, let's go ahead and pit right now. Asked him, are you in your fuel window? He said it's going to be really close, but why not roll the dice just a little bit here? Of course, they've already got wins. They don't have to worry about that, and it works out. It works great. Right now, the truck for him has been very good out front. He said, all I need is clean air with this truck right now.
Well, if that's all he needs, that's what he just gave away, because he's going to be buried back there. But I like kind of cruising for a bit, Phil. If everybody else is going to have to pit for sure, he's going to come back in, top off. I like this move as well.
I do too. Yeah, because he knows every other truck on the racetrack pretty much is going to, everybody he's competing against will have to pit again, whether it be under green or under caution. And when they do, he can just drive right by him when they're on pit road. Again, green or caution, either way.
So 68 laps to go. What'd you guys say the fuel window was?
We think 65, but caution here, one more lap in the books, and then, you know, maybe don't attack on the restart. Just let it roll for a bit, because of what Phil said. They're all going to pit anyway at some point.
He might be a little vulnerable if we get some overtimes. That may be tough for him.
Well, I love when crew chiefs are willing to gamble, because then it plays out. See, you know, who made the right call, the winning strategy. We'll see if it works out for Zane Smith. Well, tomorrow's week 8 of the 2023 USFL season on Fox. And we're back with back-to-back games as Memphis takes on New Jersey at 1 Eastern, and then they battle Michigan and New Orleans at 4 p.m. It all kicks off tomorrow on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Love the USFL. Gives me something fun to do during the summer months after the racing's all over.
Some people need football all the time,
That's right.
so that's your fix. And these kids, they're out there in the heat, enjoying it, eating ice
what
cream.
a great crowd today, too.
Great crowd.
Sold out tomorrow. Every single ticket is sold out for tomorrow's Cup race.
Concerts, got the Midway. A lot of fun. Is Dirks playing tomorrow?
Dirks is playing tomorrow. I think Duggar's playing tonight.
Duggar's here.
It's entertainment. I mean, you get a race, you get concerts. And hey, if you want to run a 5K, you can have at it and do that too.
I'm going to pass on the 5K. Thank you.
Come on, let's do it after this.
Yeah,
Kick off the heels, put the shoes on. Green flag in the air again.
Daniel Dye still fighting on that bottom, trying to get a move here on Grant. Oh, he's in there pretty deep.
Getting some great experience for the young rookie running up front with his teammate Matt DiBenedetto in the 25 on the second row, trying to make a move to take that third spot.
Grant wants to take care of Daniel as much as he can, being his teammate, but he doesn't want to get the lead up.
Ben Rhodes in the 99 was going backwards.
Man, if I'm Daniel, I might just roll off right here, get behind my teammate, and grab that spot.
Just like that.
Oh,
don't pull out. Don't pull out.
He wants to take the lead. Ducks to the inside, going into turn 1. Side by side they go.
It's really hard to do what Daniel's doing. Fight that truck on the inside.
Stay behind him, Daniel. Give him a push. Y'all drive away and decide it if that's possible. Matt DiBenedetto with that 25 truck up to third.
Carson Hocevar is back up in the mix. All the problems he had, all the damage.
Majeski back up there as well, right now being shown in 6th.
Being told Haley Deegan was evaluated, checked out all right, and released.
Some good trucks battling here. Nick Sanchez, the 2, Kraft in the 88, Bailey Curry in the 41.
What an entertaining affair we have here.
Reason going after Hocevar. Haven't talked a lot about Tyler Ankrum. He's done a nice job hanging up out here in the top 10.
Grant Enfinger continues to lead up front, but this battle right here for 6th. Stuart Friesen's had such a solid truck today. Talked about him coming in here just 1 point below the cutoff line. Not that we're too concerned, but there's no room for error. He wants to get all those points that he possibly can. Heather.
Tyler Ankrum actually really likes this racetrack. He told me earlier that he's never had a bad race here, but they've never really had a great race, and he hasn't had a lot of fun. But right now, running in the top 10, he's enjoying himself, and said over the radio that the truck feels good at this point in the race, so we'll see if he can stay up front as the 19 tries to take over.
Tyler Ankrum, yeah, just to follow up, he's had a couple top 10s this year, but it's been a few weeks that it's been a little tough for him. To bring it home at the top 5 would be a solid day, no doubt.
This 19 truck was the talk of the town yesterday, Phil. Really fast in practice, but we just haven't seen that much speed. Oh, a little bump there from Brett Holmes into Nick Sanchez. Gets him up the hill. They'll race down the front.
Christian Eckes, as Regan reported earlier, under the weather, and he had the brake issues early on, so hasn't been running up front the entire day. Started there, but back in the 9th spot, so still digging.
Nice move by Chase Purdy to get around Brett Holmes. He made it 3 wide for a moment. Sanchez is going to ease out in front of Purdy. That's a battle for the 11th spot. See, there's where Purdy pulled to the inside. He wants Sanchez to know that he's coming. He wants his spotter to say looking inside, and then maybe Sanchez would drive up the racetrack and give him room. Wasn't really close enough to make it work that time.
Zane Smith, we talked about the fact that he pitted, probably going to maybe take it easy. He's up to 20th, not for forcing the issue. There you see him coming off turn 2, right behind Jesse Love. I think he's on a bit of a
conservation effort.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of a run to get up toward the top 20 and see what happens.
A little bit different strategy for Zane Smith back there, but Grant Enfinger continues to lead his teammate Daniel Dye in 2nd. 60 laps to go from St. Louis. Welcome back to the Toyota 200, beautiful St. Louis. We're staying right next to Cardinal Stadium. They had a concert rocking there last night. There's all kinds of fun things happening here. It's a steamy one though, no doubt, about 92 degrees. And I'm from the desert, so this is definitely not what you call a dry heat. These drivers are gonna be whipped when they get out of these trucks.
Grant Enfinger's had the strategy flipped around all day long, and look at it paying off here late. Still another pit stop ahead for the 23 car truck.
And Jake Garcia once again finds his way up into the top 5. Made his Truck Series debut here a year ago, and he told me that meant so much to him. It's the first time he's ever returned to a track that he's raced at before. He said, I know my points, my marks, I could just get in the truck and drive and practice, and he's showing it.
And look at the damage on the right rear. He's gotten a little bit of fender bend out there, which is not a terrible thing, I don't think, but it looks like the thing's starting to get really loose with him. I've noticed the last few laps, Majeski driving right up on him.
Yeah, it's not a huge surprise, though, to see Jake Garcia running up in the top 5. Finished 5th at Texas for his best finish, but he was even better than that at Darlington. Got involved in a late wreck to take him out of a good spot.
And Jamie, you mentioned it, Carson Hocevar, he's on the rally. That truck is fast. He's going to get inside of Garcia, try to grab that 5th place away.
A lot of eyes on Carson Hocevar this weekend as he'll make his Cup Series debut tomorrow. And something he reminded me of yesterday in the garage, he said, you know, I'm really excited to get in one of these Cup cars for the first time, never done it, but he's been doing the sim for Trackhouse for the last year and a half. So he's got that comfort level with what to expect, but he did a nice job. And Michael, you said it, he checked all those boxes today in practice and qualifying.
You can see the serial that they started back in 30th with had issues during qualifying. Actually had fuel pump issues. They repaired that, made him go to the back, unimproved adjustments.
Look at that left rear though. It's flapping in the wind. They got tape all over it. Jake had a nice run there. Could it cost him? Ben Rhodes is going to heat him up for that spot.
And Stuart Friesen, the 52, right behind him.
Jake Garcia in the 35 getting the pressure from Ben Rhodes. Jake, 18 years old, told me yesterday, movers are coming on Monday down to Georgia in his home, and he's moving up north. What all drivers do, they move to Charlotte. You want to commit yourself to this sport, that's where you need to be. So he's excited. It's a new chapter in his life.
Well, he had to finish high school first, didn't he?
He did.
Yep.
Just graduated. Now he's moving quickly, as Ben Rhodes wants him to move a little bit quicker over to the side.
Yeah, and so does Stuart Friesen. That's getting pretty serious there, as this battle for the top 10 is heated up as well.
I think Sanchez drove his way up, I think well inside the top 5. He's fallen off just a bit as he battles Ankrum for that 10th spot.
Or a good exit through the center and off the corner of turn 4. Pulls back in front of Ankrum.
Matt Crafton steady and solid all day, trying to bump his way into the top 10.
Such a beautiful truck. So easy to look and know exactly where Matt Crafton is at all times.
You can look at the entire field and pick Matt out.
Yes.
No problem.
Probably feels a little bit better today than that hot black truck.
Good battle with Chase Purdy.
Oh, he's going to get loose. Yes, sir. You saw Chase didn't cut him any slack, give him any room, and the result was Matt's truck going sideways, and now puts him vulnerable for that 15 truck of Tanner Gray. Grant Tanner's going to get that spot.
You saw Zane Smith. There's Zane right there, right behind him on a bit of a fuel conservation run. He knows that all these trucks in front of him are going to have to come to pit road again.
Hadn't seen a good economy run to the checker flag like we saw at Charlotte in the Xfinity race. That's really entertaining to see how this is going to play out. And we've got the best of both worlds here. Grant Enfinger out there sprinting as fast as he can, and Zane Smith kind of picking his way through the field, knowing that he probably will not have to pit if this thing stays green.
48 laps to go from St. Louis. Who will prevail? Will it be Grant Enfinger picking up his 2nd win of the season? You won't miss a thing. We'll go side by side. the longest green flag stretch that we have had in this race. Welcome back to the Toyota 200 at St. Louis. And Grant Enfinger just continues to dig. He's now led more laps here at Gateway than at any other track.
You can see right side of that pylon there that laps since pitted. We know that we can go probably 65 with the caution laps we've had. We can probably stretch it to at least 70. So I think we're within 10 laps of all these drivers that have 61 laps on their tires coming to pit road. And Zane Smith's going to be smiling when that happens.
Yeah, and Daniel Dye has been caught by Ty Majeski. Majeski's trying to take that second spot away, but Daniel's doing a nice job as you see him swinging around the outside of Spencer Boyd in that 12 truck. Lap traffic's now becoming a factor. They've got a lot of the guys falling back and having to work their way through that.
But Ty Majeski's day started on the pole, has led the most laps today at 53, shuffled back, then forward. Now he's sitting in the third spot.
And remember, he pitted on lap 72, so he can go farther. He can go about 14 laps farther than the drivers that are going to have to pit probably within about 10 laps.
Zane Smith back in 14th, working his way up through the field. He pitted at lap 92. We think he's going to try to stretch it to the checkers.
Daniel Dye, that beautiful petty blue and white, number 43, doing a really nice job, just running lap after lap up there toward the front. It's the first time he's really done this for a long period of time.
Yeah, career day for Daniel Dye. Just really, really proud of him.
Heather.
Tyler Ankrum is going to pit right now, and he's inside the window, so they're going to do tires on the right side and work their way over to the left. But so far, he was running in the top 10, and like I said, no major complaints on the 16, so we'll see if he can get back out front and if this strategy on his side works out for him here in the end.
Got an adjustment for Tyler Ankrum as well, as he's the first to pit. Wonder if we'll see any other takers at this point. It looks like we will have a couple more.
Majeski got by Daniel Dye for that second spot. There's Majeski and Daniel. They're about 3.5 seconds behind, 3.7 seconds behind our leader, Grant Enfinger, right now.
Bailey Curry has made his way to pit road. He was running in the 16th position. These guys pitting right now are just praying for no caution so they don't get caught back there. And I think also Zane Smith's praying for no caution. He's going to see if this thing plays out for him with this fuel mileage strategy.
38 laps to go here. 7 cautions on the day, 4 different leaders.
Solid day for Matt DiBenedetto. That's good to see too. This team's been a bit up and down, had some good runs. Today's a solid day.
Yeah, that outstanding third place run at Wilkesboro. Hocevar is going to try to get by on the inside. That is a battle for the 4th spot.
Matt DiBenedetto, you mentioned it, 3rd at North Wilkesboro, followed it up with 8th at Charlotte last week. He sounded really pumped up yesterday, like we're hitting our stride. Got an engineer this year, got a little more resources, another year now to work with this same team. Of course, Matt DiBenedetto in the Cup Series for many, many years. Came back to the Truck Series last year.
That was a veteran move there too, Phil. He knew Carson was better. Looked in his mirror. There was nothing behind Carson. Rolled up to the top. Let the 42 truck go. Fall in behind him.
Yeah, lose no time.
That's right.
So many of these drivers, they'll fight you tooth and nail for every position when it really doesn't matter. They chase you down from a half a straightaway behind. You're just slowing both of you down.
Grant Enfinger now has led the most laps on the day, 54 laps and counting.
He's getting close though. He's run about 66 laps so far.
Yeah, but some of those were cautions, so that certainly helped.
Stretch it a little bit, but you see his
first gear 4,300.
That's the call to pit road. First gear 4,300.
Oh,
how about that timing?
Around. The caution comes out just before Grant Enfinger was about to pit.
Now they say, stay out, Grant, stay out.
Save all you got, save all you got.
122 degrees inside the cockpit of that 02 truck.
Maybe 132 under the helmet.
I'm glad you said. I was thinking the same thing. So caution out for the 8th time today.
I think you said it won't turn over.
Can't get that truck to fire. Let's see what happened.
Oh, the 33 of
Josh Rayum just
Josh
slid up.
Rayum just never quite turned into the corner.
And around went Morgan and Morgan.
Yeah.
Both Morgans. Is that one Morgan on one side and the other Morgan on the other?
Said my lawyer is Morgan and Morgan on the back of that truck.
Well, Josh Rayum may be getting a call. I'll tell you that. He just slides up into a little bit of contact there. Just slid up the hill.
Yeah.
Clip Chase Purdy and clip the 02 of Hocker. And there's a lot of drivers that did not want to see that caution, but Grant Enfinger isn't one of them. That was very timely.
Everybody that pitted on lap 58, they all were coming to pit road pretty soon. It's really going to hurt Ankrum, who already made his green flag pit stop. And a lot of drivers did some really nice work getting around him because he's right smack in the middle of the racetrack.
Including Zane Smith, who was back there in fuel conservation mode.
And I'm telling you, you cannot see through that smoke. You don't know where that truck is. You really rely heavily on your spotter and just feeling your way through that.
Michael, pit road is still closed. What do you think about if we're Zane Smith's team? We're going to bring him in just for a little dash of fuel because we know we're going to beat everybody out that's going to change tires. What do you think of that?
I like it, or else this caution flag might give them confidence.
Maybe they know. Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
Talked about Enfinger had run 60-some laps probably at this point. Maybe the 38 team says, we got this, just stay out. We'll lead the baby. You know, it's crazy for this team, too. We think of his consistency, champion, how good he is week after week.
Since he started in the truck series.
That's
3 years ago. The
last 3 weeks, though, have been tough.
Got involved in a wreck there at Darlington.
Finished 22nd that day.
He had issues. He was having electrical issues as well. Got caught up in something coming off a corner at North Wilkesboro.
Finished 32nd there.
And then just got away from him there at Charlotte.
He wants
23rd at Charlotte. That's just not like this team, as you guys alluded to.
Put all that behind him.
Yeah, I was talking to Chris Lawson, his crew chief. He said, you know, the one thing, if we didn't have speed, that'd be one thing. But we've had speed. And he said, the only thing it does is this is probably not the truck that we would have brought here. The truck we had at North Wilkesboro would have been the truck, our better short track truck. Even though we see speeds over 160 miles an hour, this really races like a short track. He said this is more of a 1.5 mile truck, so it's not really not what they wanted to be here, but it's doing pretty good right now. And if the strategy plays out, he's probably going to have the lead here momentarily.
Well, it's been a great day for the 38 truck. He's shown back there in the 13th spot. We'll see what he decides to do.
Big pit stops here. Big pit stops coming.
A lot on the line right now. And Heather, they're coming your way.
Matt DiBenedetto will be the first in on my side. He said he's on the border of sliding the right rear of that truck, so just a little free. I just checked with his crew chief, and he said we may or may not do adjustments here, so we'll wait and see what the 25 does. And on the 23 of Grant Enfinger, he said he's a little tight on that long run, but he felt pretty good in clean air, and he feels like he will be good for the short run. So just a slight air pressure adjustment for the 25. Regan?
Daniel Dye having a great day right now. The team told him, make sure you stop short. He is pitted right behind the 98 of Ty Majeski. Want to give him room to get out. As for the truck, he says it's good. I don't want any changes with it. And the 98 of Ty Majeski up and down in the pit so far today. Needs a good stop. Said, free me up just a little bit. The truck's just a little too tight right now.
A lot of adjustments there as most of the trucks came down pit road, but a handful stayed out on track, including the 38.
Yeah, Carson Hocevar, right side tires. He didn't want to take any time to try to get that left side jacked up. He did 2 tires, as well as Stuart Friesen.
And Chase Purdy.
See if that plays out for him. A little extra track position. They're going to have to go through the guys who decided to stay out.
Zane Smith and Jesse Love are the 2 trucks that are on the lead lap. Both pitted around 90-92.
All right, we'll see how this all shakes out. 32 laps to go from St. Louis. Who will it be? Welcome back to Worldwide Technology Raceway in beautiful St. Louis. Still not a cloud around. It's a hot and steamy day, and we're getting ready for a restart. And it's Ford versus Toyota on the front row. Tricon Garage versus Thor Sport, and what a battle. Each have 5 trucks in the field. Take a look at what they've done this season so far.
They've been so competitive. Both organizations so competitive. Thor Sport coming off their 2nd win of the year at Charlotte with Ben Rhodes.
Tricon week in and week out. We talk about Corey Heim. Hate we're missing Corey Heim, but what a season it's been for that young man.
Zane Smith chose the outside. Jesse Love decided to go behind Zane Smith. Hocevar has the inside.
I think that's the safe route, Phil. You're down on that inside. Somebody's going to stick you 3 wide if you don't get a good start. And here they come.
Zane Smith for Front Row Motorsports. Nice restart for him. Stuart Friesen jumps to the inside, tries to make it 3 wide.
What a block by Carson Hocevar. He wasn't having any of that. And Stuart made the decision. I'm not going to wreck you.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that he's going to remember what happened.
Matt DiBenedetto way down to the inside to make it 3 wide.
And you notice who's missing up front. Daniel Dye. Bad pit stop on the money stop. He went from 3rd all the way to 18th. What a bad break for that young man.
Yeah, won't be able to overcome it either. Not with all these trucks have speed.
Look at those wild dives into the corner. That's fun to watch. Frustrating as a driver, though, giving up those spots this late in the race.
Chris Lawson with that different strategy. Had his driver mid-pack as a bump. Nick Sanchez in the 88 and Matt Crafton. But Zane Smith finds himself back up front, leading more laps here. 11 and counting.
Chase Purdy in the top 10 again. Solid run here for that young man. And there's Grant down on the bottom.
Remember, older tires on that 11 for Jesse Love. First ever Truck Series start.
He's done a nice job of holding his position, though. I mean, he hadn't fallen back that much. He's going to have some guys get him because they got more experience. They got better tires, maybe even more importantly. But he's done a nice job of minimizing his losses on this restart.
Jesse Love's a name we're all going to be talking about for many years to come. Just 18 years old. He can get in anything. Pavement, dirt, anything.
He won a big midget race this week.
About 45 minutes from here. He's always racing something. Making his Truck Series debut here, but he's going for the championship in the ARCA Menard Series. Has 3 straight wins in a row as he tries to hold off Ty Majeski.
Majeski's going to get to the bottom. Not quite.
Still clear.
I'm just so impressed with what Carson Hocevar has been able to do. Bailey Curry goes around. That brings out the caution for the 9th time.
Just a little more insurance for Zane Smith in his fuel situation.
Bailey Curry was in the 24th spot.
He's a lap off the pace. There you see the 2 combatants that will line up and try to decide this thing.
I like it. Combatants.
Yeah, they're just angry with each other right now.
Competition. There's Lawson.
Yeah, he didn't want to see this caution flag, even though he may benefit a little bit by a little fuel saving, but Zane had the lead, had clean air. I don't think he wants to have to go through another restart if he can help it.
Let's look back at what brought out that caution.
Saw a truck on the inside there.
Don't know if there was contact or maybe Bailey just got a little bit loose up off the corner.
Couldn't really tell. But
I think he kept it out of the wall, though.
I do too, and that's all you can hope for in that moment.
Problem is right now, if he has flat spotted tires, he will have to put older tires on.
Our buddy Daniel Dye with the onboard footage.
Yeah, Bailey, you could see it wiggle one time, got a little bit loose, and then the second time he was not able to save it.
Too bad for Bailey Curry. Had a nice day yesterday in practice, qualified 11th.
Yeah, too
Making
bad
the most of it.
for that team. He always does a great job, just a little off today.
Just 24 laps to go. Can Zane Smith hold him off and get back to victory lane? 137 laps into this exciting race. We've been kind of all over the place, but one thing remains true, and it's hot.
It's hot. See Stewart Friesen, no right front tire, cost him some track position early on, and issues for the 42 of Hocevar. Left side jack stop knocked off, and they've been trying to get that truck up ever since.
He got in a wreck early and it messed up the whole left side, but he still finds himself up in the second spot. As you see, spinners going everywhere. Hailie Deegan gets turned around going into turn 3. Very, very hard crash for her.
Morgan got turned around. Chris Hacker.
And then while we're under caution now, see Bailey Curry in that black truck. Just a little wiggly, a little loose off turn 2. And around he went. Courtesy of the Daniel Dye onboard camera, we were able to see that spin.
Hot and slick today. 4 different leaders.
How about that, baby?
Boy, does that look good.
That looks awesome. The Wrangler jeans machine.
Let's listen to Carson Hocevar's radio.
Hey, bud. Yeah, ma'am. You can win this friggin' thing. I hope you know that. Yes, sir. I think front row. The air is too important. Yes, sir.
Phil Gould believes in his boy. We could do this.
I believe in him, too. Getting the choose here, of course.
He's going to take the inside. Stewart Friesen's going to line up behind Zane. Remember, all these trucks around Zane Smith all have fresher tires than he does.
He was able to grab the lead, though, Phil, and hold it comfortably. 6-8 truck lengths ahead of Carson.
Clean air is king. That's what they always say.
Let's get an update on Grant Enfinger. Heather, what are they saying?
Well, the truck with the freshest tires is the 23 of Grant Enfinger, and his crew chief, Jeff Hensley, said, hey, man, I think we're in the catbird seat right here, and all we have to do is go and execute. So another crew chief who believes in his driver right here as we go for the restart.
I like it. It's time to be a cheerleader.
And we know where the catbird seat is, too, don't we, Michael?
We do, and that's exactly where I race all day long to get, and he's there.
So Zane Smith continues to lead here. He's led 55 laps today, and that's officially the most laps he's led in a race this year.
He wants to lead that lap 160. As long as there's a checker flag waving at 160.
Well, we've seen a very aggressive Carson Hocevar over the last year or so. Let's see how hard he pushes Zane Smith down into turn 1.
Here they go, side by side. It's the Craftsman trucks, 20 to go.
Boy, there was a lot of tire spinning going on.
Zane Smith on those older tires. Carson Hocevar on the bottom. Side by side they go out of 2.
Big run off turn 2 for Zane Smith. Nice job exiting. What will Stewart Friesen do?
He's going to jump to the outside of Hocevar. Hocevar put the block on Stewart.
Brandon Finger in the yellow number 23. Heather just talked about it. They gave him that pep talk. He's doing well.
Stewart was slipping and sliding up there on the high side, but he made it stick, and he rolls into the 3rd spot.
Remember, Enfinger with 4 tires moves to the inside of Friesen for 3rd.
He's in the catbird seat.
Here comes Christian Eckes. He says, hey guys, don't forget about me back there in that blue, beautiful number 19.
What about how these drivers race down the back straightaway with their eyes in the rearview mirror? Don't you pull out, I'll block you. That's what we saw there. Grant just can't get it done on the bottom, but he's not going to give up.
Going to give Majeski a bit of a run. He's not going to take it to the inside.
Majeski back there behind the 52 says, hurry up, boys. I got to go.
He did it. Grant cleared Stewart. Great move on the bottom.
Maybe those 4 tires versus 2. Got to help a little bit, don't you think?
Now he's got some work to do to get to the back bumper of Hocevar.
Fans here if you haven't, fans.
Brake fans. Making sure they're cooling the tires and the brakes that they need. That's a science all amongst itself, isn't it, Phil?
Sure is.
When to run the fans, when not to. could tell Grant's really pushing it. Slid up the hill there. Last time by, he was a 10th better than Hocevar, and that included the pass on Friesen.
17 laps to go here. Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar, Grant Enfinger, Stuart Friesen with a lot of pressure from Ty Majeski behind him. There they are, side by side.
Majeski drives it hard down in the corner to take that spot. A little bit of a wiggle by Friesen.
And that's going to open the door for Eckes as you see the 19 Napa truck getting to the bottom.
And Jesse Love doing a nice job back there in 7th right now, learning so much today.
Yeah, that is impressive. There's Matt DiBenedetto up top.
That's the battle for 10th on the right side with Matt DiBenedetto, Nick Sanchez, and Matt Crafton.
Oh, Eckes side drafting Stuart Friesen, left side of your screen. Oh, he's gonna get
side
loose.
by side, they're leaning on each other.
Look at the run Jesse Love's gonna have.
He likes what he's seeing, isn't he? There's a door open. I'm going through it.
Jesse Love driving the 11 for Corey Heim, who's watching at home, recovering from an illness. Watching Love drive that truck.
Enfinger 2/10 better than our leader Zane Smith last time by, and he grabs the 2nd spot away from Hocevar.
Now all he sees is the back of that 38 Ford for Zane Smith. I don't think we'll see any lap traffic for a long time. The closest truck there in the middle of the backstretch is over in turn 4 right now.
But can we keep it green all the way to the checker?
Battle heating up.
They are racing hard around this racetrack.
And the pressure Zane must be feeling right now, knowing he's got those older tires, and he sees Grant Enfinger in his rear view coming. He's got about a 1.3 second lead over 2nd place.
About even last time by on the lap time.
Majeski was the fastest truck on the racetrack that lap. You see him right there in 4th behind Hocevar.
Look at the damage on the 42 on the left side. What he's been able to do today, his team keeping him in the game.
Ben Rhodes getting by Chase Purdy, right side of your screen, going to bring Nick Sanchez with him. That's a battle inside the top 10.
Ben Rhodes picked up the 8th spot there.
Matt Crafton trying to move into the top 10. He's been solid all day, just can't get up toward the top 5.
Talked about very top of the show, new crew chief on board. J-Rod, Prince for Matt Crafton.
Talk about Ty Majeski as he tries to make a move on the 42 of Carson Hocevar. Ty Majeski got his first pole of the season yesterday, started on pole today, and trying to get his first win of the season. But does he have enough?
I tell you, Zane Smith, Michael's put the afterburners out. The last 2 laps, he's been faster than Enfinger.
He is on go right now, and that truck is saying, let's do it.
Almost 60 laps on his tires.
Ty Majeski side by side with Carson Hocevar, and he gets it. Majeski to the 3rd spot.
Uh-oh, let's do it all again. What do you say?
And there's smoke. Caution is out. 10th time here at St. Louis.
Zane sure didn't want to see that.
Lawless Allen there in the 45. Look back and see what led to this.
Grant says, hello there, Zane. I'm here.
There you are.
I can see you.
See a side-by-side battle right in the middle of your screen.
Ah,
yeah.
Slid up, made contact.
With Matt Mills in the 20 truck. Timmy Hill did a nice job getting stopped.
On board the Morgan & Morgan camera.
He sees the spinning truck ahead of him. Tucks it down to the bottom.
Cody Breitinger did a nice job as well getting stopped. She's doing an incredible job running 25th right now. Only 1 lap down.
Yeah, just a lap off the pace. Tyler Ankrum, remember he pitted under green when everybody else was able to take advantage of the caution. He's a lap down as well at this point.
Well, we continue under caution here. We're going to take one quick break. Just 10 laps to go. Stay with us. Will Zane Smith hold off Grant Enfinger for the win? Great crowd here at St. Louis, taking in the Toyota 200. That's what I'm talking about. A little ice cream, a lot of kids out with their families today enjoying this race. It's been action-packed, no doubt. So this is race number 12 of the Craftsman Truck Series. We're gonna have a couple weeks off, and then the next race, June 23rd. We're headed to Nashville for the final Triple Truck Challenge race presented by Craftsman. I love going to Nashville.
There's some really good music, isn't there?
Music, the racetrack, the racing. It's going to be another hot and slick one, no doubt.
What a fun racetrack that is to see these guys challenge.
I remember you getting a guitar from that racetrack one time.
I won there in the Xfinity Series back in the day.
See it there. FS1, June 23rd. I swear everybody in Nashville can sing.
That's right.
Waitresses,
stars
bartenders.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Here's the choose.
Big choose here. A little bit of different tire disparity. Obviously, Zane with about, gosh, now over 60 laps on his tires. Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski both had 4 tires on lap 128.
Just think about Zane, though. When he went back racing, he didn't charge up through the field. We talked about that. He took care of those tires, just picked his way up a few spots. But when he got that track position, he put the hammer down.
We really thought when Enfinger got to second, he was going to chase him down, and Zane just reached back for a little bit more and actually ran faster prior to the caution than Enfinger was. But it's all about the restart now.
And it's all also could be all about the caution flags in overtime, because we know how crazy it's going to get.
You can see the pylon laps on tires, 64 laps for Zane, 26. And remember, Hocevar just right side tires as well as Friesen on lap 26. Enfinger, Majeski 4 tires with their 26 laps on them.
All right, there's the facts. Who are you guys picking at this point?
I just like what I saw out of Zane those last few laps, and he's got that perfect track position up top. Nothing out the windshield. I think he goes down into turn 1, and you saw him rocket off turn 2 on that last restart. Really fast number 38 truck.
Yeah, I like Zane as well. He proved once Grant Enfinger got to second that he had the speed to pull away from Enfinger. But one little slip here on this restart, and it could be a new game.
Will this be the final restart? Green flag in the air. Great restart once again for the 38, and they fan out 4 wide heading into turn 1.
It was not a great restart for Enfinger. That's why Hocevar got pulled alongside by Friesen.
Look at Majeski.
Majeski on the move.
Holy cow, what a move off turn 2.
We know how good that 98 truck's been all day. Look at Enfinger was going to make it 3 wide.
Oh, they both wreck. Ty Majeski gets into Zane Smith. Caution comes out. New leader, Grant Enfinger.
And Christian Eckes up to second.
What a turn of events here with 5 laps to go.
Huge mistake there by Majeski.
He figured that was his opportunity. That was maybe the one opportunity he was going to get to grab the lead. We see it happen so many times. Tremendous amount of damage to Majeski's truck.
Talked about Tim Duggar's going to be here.
That's what he looks like.
He just about threw him off. Just about threw him off that truck.
Upside down.
Let's look at this one once again.
Just gets loose. Classic. We've seen it all night long. We also talked about all day long how they were going to get charge harder and harder. He lost that truck way early in the corner. Maybe just got in a little too deep.
Just barely nudged Zane, but Zane couldn't do anything about it.
Look at the heavy damage to the back of the 98.
We've seen it happen time and time again, and all the drivers talk about the crews. You get down on the inside there, you're going to lose that downforce.
We saw driver after driver run down there and get a little loose, but the majority of them have done a nice job hanging on to it. Let's see what Daniel Dye sees as he's racing behind Matt Crafton.
What a great move. Got by 2 trucks there. Depends on when the caution came out. He may be able to keep those 2 positions.
Man, that's a shame.
Oh, what a beautiful truck and a fast truck. This guy's enjoying himself.
I don't think the Road Ranger is going to return to the road. That back end's dragging.
Ty Majeski started on pole at 55 laps. Zane Smith led 32 laps. And the caution is out as he and Majeski wreck at the front of the field.
I think you certainly can't fault the strategy for Chris Lawson.
No, it was paying off.
It was perfect.
And you know, we asked the question, will this be the last restart? And the answer is generally no. They're going to do it again. Let's check this out all the way from the time they threw the green flag and what Majeski was able to do. What a fast truck he had on that restart.
Look at Enfinger. Enfinger really doesn't go. Probably spun the tires a little bit. And then was worried about Hocevar over trying to dive bomb him as well as Friesen.
Keep your eye on the 98 in second right here.
Watch him just jump on the throttle right here and go.
I didn't see this happening, really. He's experienced racer, short track guy.
They told me yesterday he probably has more experience here than anywhere else that we run. He's won races here in super late models.
And that is one happy team right there. Grant Enfinger says, all right, we'll pick up the lead here.
Christian Eckes right there on the hip pocket of Grant Enfinger. He's gotten better and better as this race has gone on.
How about super sub Jesse Love right now being shown in the 4th spot?
That's how you make a name for yourself. They tap you on the shoulder. You're the 6th man. Come get in the game. Actually, the 2nd man in this case. You know what I mean.
It was a good point.
Well, he was supposed to be the 1st man. He was going to be in the 1 truck, and now it's in the 11. But, you know, there's a lot on the line for this 11 team. They came in as the points leaders. He can't help them there. But when it comes to manufacturer leader, that is really important to these teams, and they're the leaders there, and he can help them with that.
Remember who was closest to him, too, in points? Ty Majeski. Obviously, Ty will be crippled up not from that accident.
So this will lead us into our first NASCAR overtime.
NASCAR overtime. They're trying to raise the back of that truck upfield to keep it from dragging the ground. As we're coming to 1 to go, you can see the officials letting the teams know there. And there's our rules, Jamie.
Yep, 2-lap shootout. If the leader takes the white flag, the next flag ends the race, whether it's caution or the checkered flag.
Yeah, Majeski already being shown a lap down.
So stay with us. NASCAR overtime coming your way. Does Grant Enfinger take it home, or can Eckes or somebody else upset? Welcome back to the Toyota 200 NASCAR overtime getting ready to take place here.
Left front tire down. I'm not sure that's a tire. That may be a broken hub or a broken wheel or something on Matt Crafton's truck.
Something's collapsed on that left front.
He's able to bring it down pit road before the restart here. He was running 9th at the time.
I could see the center of the wheel is, I think it's a broken wheel.
11 cautions for 61 laps today. These boys are ready. It's been 91 plus all race long. Who will prevail? Grant Enfinger, Christian Eckes. Green flag in the air. Christian Eckes hasn't led a lap yet today. He wants to change that here.
See how good a run off the corner. Grant gets a great run off the corner. He has him cleared.
Now Grant's just hoping everybody can make it back to this white flag. Look at Friesen down on the bottom of Hocevar there. Battle for third. Friesen's going to grab it.
How about Purdy in fifth?
Jesse Love in 6th. Great stories throughout. White flag is in the air. Next flag will end it, whether it's caution or checkers. Grant Enfinger. Turning point was Kansas about a month ago during this 5-race stretch, and they have been on the gas. Got his first win of the season at Kansas. Momentum is a thing. Today, he's been on it, has led 64 laps. Christian Eckes doesn't want it to end, tries to push the issue. Grant Enfinger comes out of turn 4. Checkered flag in the air. Grant Enfinger wins it at Gateway.
You might have some trucks spun out off the 2 here.
They were wrecking coming out of turn 4. We're told caution is out, but Grant Enfinger gets the job done.
You worked out. We were a good truck. In my opinion, we weren't that great yesterday, but you made it good. You made it a contending truck. And the stars aligned, Jess. So thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you, pit crew. Let's keep